18th day of May. We're about 6:35 a.m. coming up. David Losh, what's fun about the show is you get educated, learn something new each day, meet someone new each day. Dr. Deborah Osgood, she's president and CEO of the Knowledge Institute for Small Business Development. Dr. Osgood, president and CEO of the Knowledge Institute for Small Business Development in our studios. And they're over in Exeter, right? About 20 years now, the Institute. Mm-hmm. And your real focus is small businesses and helping to spark entrepreneurial spirit, energy, activity. Especially with young people, younger people. That's pretty cool. And you have a guest with us from Nigeria, and he's the Deputy Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission of Nigeria, Ibrahim. How do you pronounce your last name? I'll get you to come closer to the microphone there.
Ibrahim then Iya.
Okay, we're not picking you up yet. Come on, go ahead.
Ibrahim then Iya.
Okay, and tell me about how you started working, Dr. Osgood, with our guest and what you're trying to accomplish both here and in Nigeria.
Well, about 20 years ago, we came up with a very innovative approach to promote entrepreneurship, and we started this in New Hampshire, actually recognized by the Governor in Economic Development in 2002 for the impact in creating new businesses by this approach. And what makes this approach quite unique is when you think about self-employment today, which is 40% of America's workforce today is self-employed, either as freelancers, they call it like the gig economy. Well, our approach for self-employment and entrepreneurial development first takes into account the self and then goes into the science of business planning. So it makes it unique by working with individuals in a way that helps them to figure out what they're naturally good at, what they get passionate about, and then they can start a business about it. Because today it's not just about earning the several $100,000 income, the 4-car garage, and the 2.3 children. It's about quality of life as well. So if an individual can participate in a program at any age, we have used this with youth all the way up to individuals with PhDs in career transitions. If they can use this and find out what they're naturally good at and excited about, they can earn an income and balance it with quality of life.
And some of this, of course, I think goes back to basics. If we're all blessed with certain things, hopefully, different skills, different things that interest us. And if you kind of do something you like, you tend to probably want to do it more and maybe work harder. The other thing, though, you and I talked, Dr. Osgood, before, we'll bring in our guest here from Nigeria, is that New Hampshire's not home to big corporations anymore. I mean, we have Fidelity in the Merrimack campus. We'll have BAE Systems. We have some companies that are growing. But for the most part, there's no major corporate headquarters here. We're a small business state.
Yes.
Many companies, maybe the founder of a company and 2 or 3 employees, or 4 or 5 employees, may be the majority of the kind of businesses here. How do you assess the entrepreneurial spirit here in New Hampshire? Is it waned a little bit? Are people getting tired from? It just seems to me, and I talk on the show a lot, is public policymakers. There was a recent study of CEOs where they rank states for being business friendly. And New Hampshire I slipped to 28. But they say that too many times public policy makers have good intentions, but all they do is they mess it up more for business.
That's true. There's actually 3,000 new small business regulations this year alone being introduced. I sit on a federal board that addresses regulatory fairness issues on behalf of small businesses. So any small businesses facing challenges in this area, we act as an interface and an advocacy. One of the areas in particular is because self-employment is growing so fast, which means a 1099 employee, the Department of Labor is really funding investigations to go into small businesses and figure out if individuals really are independent contractors or employees. And if that small business is found to be in violation of that type of rule, they have to be subject to fines as well as all back payroll taxes and any other benefits if the individual actually does not qualify technically as an independent contractor. So these are the kinds of regulations you really have to look out for. But
the more regulations you look out for as a business owner, you're not growing your business. Yeah. All right, we have the Knowledge Institute for Small Business Development. We're going to tell you how to contact them. Bring in our guest here and explain with Ibrahim how you started working with the folks in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I am really delighted to be with you this morning, and you need to be how excited I am. I think before I tell you why we're here, it's important I briefly tell you who we are, what we do back home in Nigeria. The National Universities Commission is a government parastatal that is established to regulate university education in Nigeria, to ensure the quality of the programs and what have you. At the moment, we have a total of 143 universities, and year in, year out, we enroll an average of 1 million students every year, and which means we turn out an average of 500,000 graduates every year. We reckon with the fact that globally, developing countries especially, going through what I would call economic slowdown. And of course, it comes with its own consequences. And for us as policymakers, we had to think outside the box to look for some viable solutions. And we realized that it's not possible for governments and corporate entities to provide job opportunities for all the teeming youth. So as a solution, we decided to look for the best practices that we can learn from. And of course, the United States has to be number one destination in that regard. So through our interaction with a gentleman called Dr. Larry, who has interacted for several years with Knowledge Institute, he saw the idea. And incidentally, the idea of Knowledge Institute coincided with our outreach plan for creating job opportunities for our teeming youth, especially at the level of graduate unemployment. That is how we found our way to New Hampshire to seek partnership and cooperation with Knowledge Institute.
Well, thank you. And Dr. Osgood, just again, for folks just joining us, Knowledge Institute for Small Business Development, it was hatched in New Hampshire about 2 decades ago, right?
Yes.
It's gone international.
Yes.
But again, when we talk about what it is, again, just redefine it for people trying to understand how it can help, folks in Nigeria, for example, get young people to find out what they like and start businesses.
Simply, the Knowledge Institute is all about small business. We just help individuals to find out what they're good at, make it into some kind of a commercialized opportunity where they can generate income and create jobs for themselves and for others. In today's economy, particularly that it was harvested in New Hampshire with Live Free or Die, it's always been, as you were saying, the small business is the backbone of this state, and people overcome obstacles. And so by developing a curriculum to help people be all they can be, love what they do what they love, and enjoy it, the time for that is just ideal. Globally, domestically,
right.
Technology, the internet reach makes it possible for individuals to really define their own work.
How can people find out more about you, meet with you, talk with you, and are you a resource for folks right here listening that may want to talk to you about learning more, and how can I come in or meet or go online and learn something?
Sure. The Knowledge Institute website, it's Knowledge Institute for Small Business Development, so it's KISBD.com. We work with individuals one-on-one to help them find out what they're naturally good at and then make it into a business model. We work with economic development agencies to train the trainers so that they're, from a programmatic standpoint, there's more impact. And then we work with larger audiences around the country and globally through companies like the IBM and the World Bank to help women and mostly minorities also be empowered through entrepreneurship. Now,
in Nigeria, if a 30-year-old man or woman wanted to start a business, and I'm not sure whatever their business would be, they just want to start a business, get a few customers. Is the system there supportive of that as a country, locally, in the town or the city, the country? Is it supportive, or is it difficult for the entrepreneur, the person, to kind of start it and get it going? Do they face the regulations that the doctor talked about? Is it hard for them to become successful? Is my 30,000-foot question.
Yeah, sure. First of all, what the government is doing is to create the enabling environment to encourage Nigerians, irrespective of their age group, to establish businesses of their own. So to that extent, we have what we call the Small Medium Enterprises Development Authority, SMEDEN. All they do is to liaise and interact with relevant critical stakeholders, state government agencies, institutions, colleges, and from time to time organize seminars, workshops, and then come out with some intervention packages towards encouraging the citizenry to establish their own businesses. At the moment, that is what is happening, and that is why the National Universities Commission, also as a parastatal and government agency, is here. One thing we want to take away from this visit back to Nigeria is to explore the possibility of deploying the virtual digital technology, which has worked perfectly in New Hampshire, in the United States, and other parts of the United States. And
go ahead. I was going to ask you, how many people in Nigeria, if I went into a coffee shop, how many people have these handheld things in their hand that would be staring at them while they're drinking coffee? I mean, basically technology like this.
Incidentally, there's a huge market. Sometimes, the last time I was in the United States, I was in Atlanta on a similar program on entrepreneurship, and we were in KSU, Kennesaw University, and the University of Georgia Tech. And incidentally, we were about 60. We had the opportunity of taking educators, and one of the resource persons, incidentally, was observing, and almost everybody was holding handheld device.
Handheld device, you got it right.
That's right.
Well, I even saw a piece, I think it's 60 Minutes a while back, that in some remote areas in Africa, they're using the phone as currency to kind of, there's a digital currency. I don't know if you know that, but it was interesting it's there. Now, Dr. Osgood, I want to go back to you here, all things local. You live here, right?
Yes.
Okay, Knowledge Institute for Small Business. Do you agree with me or not? We talked before we went on. And again, this is more of a 20, 30,000 foot question. I talk to a lot of small business owners, second, third generation. I asked them a question. Would you start the business today? In this environment of, it just seems at all levels, nationally, state, and I think even local. Sometimes, not all communities, but some communities just view the business owner as either a source of money, a source of a place to kind of, they'll pay it. Even some bills and regulations here, I don't think they realize how difficult, or a business owner may spend so much time where the business runs him or her, and they're not even hiring people and selling stuff because they're just dealing with crap. And I'm not saying the basics of business. It's hard. Any business, it's hard. More money in, money out. You got to pay bills. But when you add the regulatory stuff, local, state, and federal on them, it is putting weight on their back. Do we realize as a state and nation we're shooting ourselves in the foot by making it tough on business, especially small business?
Yeah, but what you're really talking about at the heart here is the human spirit. I mean, small business is what this country really was founded on.
Right.
And what we have a problem here in this country right now, and really globally, is the human spirit. Never mind if you weren't running your own company. Let's say you had a corporate job. You talk about problems. I mean, most corporate jobs are 90% political, 10% productivity. So the things
you just hit the nail on the head.
The things you just discussed about having to overcome as a small business owner, regulatory issues and everything like that. I mean, life is always a process of overcoming obstacles. So I think the real issue today is the human spirit. If we can continue to re-inspire individuals to do what they love what they do, and have conviction in that, these just become obstacles to be overcome, whether you work for someone else or whether you work for yourself. And that's what we need to re-inspire in all individuals.
When are you running for president? Well, big answer. I'm serious. Big answer. I have not heard that. I have not heard an answer that articulate and that, in my opinion, intelligent. And I've interviewed all the presidential candidates. I mean that. And now some would talk about this, but you just hit the nail on the head. I've sensed, and I think a lot of people out there listening to you, Dr. Osgood, may have just nodded. I sense that America's tired.
Yes.
The morale's low. The energy. People go from Monday to Friday, and they can't wait to get to Friday. That may have been the case, too, after World War II and other difficult periods in our society. But I'll tell you, if the American spirit, if the human spirit is not lifted a little more, you're right. You're absolutely right.
It is there.
You're right.
It can be lifted, and we have done it. We have worked, when we tested this curriculum, which has been built for 13 years, we worked with one of the most difficult populations. And in this qualitative study, we were told not to work with them. It was high-risk youth of dropping out of school. All of the individuals that went through the study, 100%, went from not caring about graduating from high school because they didn't know what it was going to do for them, to all 100% wanted to graduate from high school.
We have to take a quick break. Back with more about the Knowledge Institute for Small Business Development and our friend from Nigeria and how this could spark some energy there for younger people. And by the way, I think this thing I'm holding, or that other thing, I'm not an Apple guy. I don't think the government founded Apple. I think it was founded by maybe a guy who passed away recently and a few people. And Henry Ford, the same thing. Started small, grew. A lot of jobs, a lot of generations, a lot of family dinners were because of entrepreneurs. Back in a few minutes. All right, welcome back to New Hampshire Today. Just a few moments. I want to finish up with our guest from the Knowledge Institute for Small Business Development, Dr. Osgood. And we're talking about this relationship with entrepreneurs in Nigeria. And I just have to tell you, Dr. Osgood, I love your answer about human spirit, whether you're in a corporate job or you're just kind of trying to stay in there as long as you can or start a business. You get that spirit, you can overcome obstacles and get a little desperate and create something. How can people get in touch with you? How can they learn more?
Our website is KISBD.com, and go there. There's a contact button. We host a whole national nonprofit public service website. It's a resource directory that helps individuals connect with programs that our collective tax dollars pay for. There are over 30,000 programs in this country that will help individuals start a small business at no cost. Things like the Small Business Development Centers that are out of all the state universities, SCORE Counselors to America's Small Business, and thousands of others. And so this website, buzzgate.org, will help them to narrow into their state and find these programs.
And I'm going to talk to you about Veterans Count. Vets Count, it's a group that I advocate for, and veterans here. It would be great if you could go in and meet with them and maybe kind of spread some of your energy and help some veterans start companies.
We have a program
back
for veterans specifically.
I'm going to link you up with those folks.
Excellent.
Ibrahim, thank you very much for coming in. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
And how long are you here for?
Just a week. By Friday, we should be heading back to Nigeria.
And I hope it goes well. I hope it goes well. And of course, you're with you're the Deputy Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission.
Yes,
143 colleges.
143 colleges, and we are really determined to work in partnership with Knowledge Institute. Within the first year of our relationship, we do hope to create 500,000 jobs.
500,000.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much. Godspeed. We'll be back.